Greetings. I'm Rebecca the Good Wife, and welcome to my channel. Today we're doing the third installment of my new series. It's a temporary series, probably, at least for this year. It's a year series, celebrating 50 years of my Hoi Polloi tarot deck by offering once a month on the third Tuesday of each month 3 free 3-card readings for 3 lucky subscribers. And I'm offering this, first of all, to celebrate my Hoi Polloi deck. I'm offering this also as a thank you to my subscribers. But I'm also offering this because I consider it a teaching tool for all of you who are students of tarot, whether you are beginners or advanced. I think we can always learn from each other, no matter what level we are reading. And I always enjoy watching other people read, or having them even read for me sometimes. So I think that's one of the best ways to learn. We can talk about the theories and what we should be doing, but it's even better if we really address real, actual cases of readings. And when I try to do, in the past, I've tried to do like hypothetical readings, just, without any querent involved, just saying, let's, read this way. It seems that the energies were always coming up with my energies or something. So I thought one of the good ways to get around that is to really have a real question asked. So I have asked people to submit some information, a small bit of information to me at my email address at goodwife@cox.net, which the information will be below in the description box. Give me their name, give me their date and place of birth and time, date, place, time of birth, and a question that it seeks information in an area, not a yes or no question per se. That's really not a very good tarot question, but something that, in an area, if they have an area of interest. And one of the things I'm excited about is for this type of reading is, even though we're doing 3-card readings for each of these readings, each card is really different. We're looking for different things completely. And this is a really good exercise for all of us to remind ourselves when we're doing a reading that we really need to pay attention to the questions asked of the cards. A good example would be, we get a card that is considered most of the time negative card, like, let's see, the Ten of Swords perhaps, which is a kind of a dire card, for most people, when they see it and they see the unfortunate circumstance that the young man or woman or whoever is in the card, usually sometimes laying face down on the Rider-Waite with 10 swords piercing their backs. It's a bad thing. That looks like a bad thing, but keep it in perspective. What if that was in a position of the past? Something that's already happened. It's not going to happen. Something horrible is not going to happen to you. Whatever that represented, it's already happened. It's there for another reason. It's there to remind you of a lesson learned from that, or a lesson that maybe, it's something. There's a reason for it. Okay, let's consider that card being put in a position of underlying fear. Underlying fear. Just because something is an underlying fear, it does not mean it's something event that's going to actually happen. So it's really important that we spend a lot of time, in my opinion, practicing answering the question. And by using 1, 2, 3 cards, just because something's over here on the left does not mean it's past. It means what we ask of the cards before we're dealing them out, when we're dealing them out, that's what that card is going to answer the question of. And you'll see what I mean if you watch some of these 3 for free tarot readings. Okay, so of course we wanted to keep everybody anonymous, so I'm only going to be using a first name or a nickname that they've given us. But also, I want to say this is a good opportunity for me to use a lot of different decks. I'm trying to use as many of my decks as I can, but only when I find appropriate. And I have some decks, different ones today to use that I'll be using. And then I have one, my final reading is a little bit of a twist, which we'll see when we get to that. And for those of you who are impatient or only here to see if you have been chosen, I will have the timestamps below so that you can see the 3 individual readings. Okay, you can go right directly to that space and forget about everybody else. Okay. For those of you who are not interested at all, well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Sorry you couldn't stay. Okay, so I'm going to change my camera. First, I want to say my first reading today is for someone named Liz. Someone named Liz. And this is a little different question because Liz is a tarot reader, and Liz wants to know how her own tarot reading journey is going to develop and how she can make the most of it. And I was really intrigued. I was excited to pull this from my little bowl, her name from my little bowl, because I've done readings for tarot readers before. I have some friends, particularly that are tarot readers, and I've read for them a number of times. But I've never read that I can recall. I've never asked the cards anything to do with somebody else's tarot reading. uh, Journey as a tarot reader. So this is a unique question to me. So we'll see how I handle that. So I'm going to change my camera, and I'm going to show you what I got for Liz. So, all right. I don't know Liz, and I'm not likely to meet her, at least for a while, because Liz is far away. She lives far away across the pond, so to speak. And I wanted all the help I could get for this reading. So I specifically chose my Cat's Eye Tarot, which is a little funny. I'm not sure why I thought of it, because I haven't used this tarot deck for quite a while. And I do enjoy it. I like to read it. I like to use it, but I haven't used it in a while. I think one of the reasons is I have had a lot of connection. I have cats. I have numerous cats, 4 cats right now. Two of my 2 younger cats are actually twins, and you've seen them here. I've showed you on my channel before, and actually they're even featured on my website in a few places. But they have a very strong intuitive connection with not only each other, but with me, particularly with me. They're close to my husband too, but with me, they just seem to react to my moods and react to gestures, and I hardly have to speak to them to get them to react. So I thought, I don't know if Liz likes cats or has cats, but I thought this would be a really good, strong energy to try to connect with Liz as best I can. So I thought I would use this deck, and I really like the deck. And I've done a video on this deck if you want to look up on my channel. Just do a search on my channel, and you'll see the Cat's Eye Tarot. I've done a little bit on this deck, also some work with core cards. So anyway, um, the the information that Liz gave me on her birth chart, from her birth chart, indicates to me that her sun is in Pisces, and I thought that was very interesting. The sun being about who you think you are, it is your own self-identity. To an extent, people. First of all, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, and Jupiter gives the person bring the desire to help others, and Neptune sometimes brings in a sensitivity, an extreme case of sensitivity. Both things are needed if you want to be a tarot reader. So she has already in her sun, um, a good indication that that might be a very successful thing for her to do. Um, Also, her moon is in Gemini, which tells us that she likes to share her thoughts with others. This is having to do with her emotions and her feelings and things. And a Gemini does like to share with other people. They love to share. Sometimes they overshare. um, so that's that's a very, very good thing. Her ascendant is in Gemini as well. Um, uh, which could give us a little bit of issues. I don't think so. Ascendant has to do, remember, with how others see you. So whether or not she's a successful tarot reader doesn't depend entirely on how others see her. They depend more on how she how good of a reader she is, but there could be an issue, a little bit of an issue, which we will deal with in a little bit. I want to look at the cards first. So that's one of the things, just a real general go around for that. I want to bring that up. Now, of course, this is a very general, a lot of generalization about her birth chart. It could be accurate or not. So it's not, it's just a little clue that gives me a little bit of information. Okay. So that's all we use it for. Okay. So let's see what I have for the cards themselves. Okay. Um, I have the three cards in front of me, and I instead of putting one, two, three, I for this for what I'm looking for, I have the beginning, the center card number one as number one, the first one chosen, because the first one chosen, I want to say what will help, what is there to help her, what are positive things, which we've already talked about, some positive things there to help Liz as her journey and tarot reading. And we get here the Six of Cups. I could hold it up a little bit so you can see what it is. It's the artwork is so pretty, but it's maybe a little hard to see with my lighting. It's kittens. It's kittens in the grass. And the story behind the card is that the kittens have ventured out really for the first time. Mother's close by to watch, but they're having an adventure. They're old enough now to venture out on their own. And if Liz is looking to seek out an experience as a tarot reader reading for other people, she must feel that she's at a stage where she's ready to go out and do something about her abilities with using her abilities of tarot. So that's a really sort of an appropriate card there. It's a usually traditionally the Six of Cups is something to do with, it's maybe a nostalgia card, but some people call it that. But for me, it's more like is connecting with your past in some way, connecting with your past. And here they're connecting not with their past because they're kittens, but they have the advantages of the experiences of their mother to help them. Okay. And I found that very interesting. That's one of the points I found very interesting when I was looking at her chart, because having the sun in Pisces also, it's in her 11th house, which is a support system. That means she has a support system, something available to help her, um, and whether it is her mother in the background or it is just it is friends or coworkers or whoever, family members. It could also be counselors. It could be tarot readers, other tarot teachers, even, who are the ability that she has learned from other readers and other people in the profession, watching YouTube videos, whatever, familiarizing herself with a lot of decks, all those experiences, that is assistance. And the idea is these are young cats, and while their mother is nearby, you don't have that in your situation. Possibly that's not what if you have your mother, I hope you do, but if you do not, it's still your mother, unless she's a tarot reader, is not really going to help you much support for this, but there might be somebody. Okay. And it's your all you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask for help. If you need help, all you have to do is ask and stand by for when you do need help. There's going to be some time when you need help, and don't be afraid to ask. Also, you need help from yourself, which is a little bit vague in my opinion, but to say, I'm sorry to say it that way. I don't know how to say it very clearly, but what I'm trying to say is this is a creative venture. And in order for you to succeed in a creative venture, this goes for any creative venture, you must give yourself permission to be creative. You must give yourself permission to do the creating. Because in order to be a good tarot reader, you have to check in and be really in tune with your intuition. Okay? And if you're a little afraid of your intuition, or you dismiss your intuition and you're not really working with your intuition, you're not going to be an effective reader. Okay. And this has nothing to do with psychic abilities that we know, traditional psychic abilities where somebody's psychic or not. I'm talking about intuitive abilities that can be developed over time. They can develop over time, but it takes practice. But it not only takes practice, it takes permission. You must permit yourself to trust your intuition. There, that's the way I want to say it. Permit yourself to trust your intuition, which is your help. That's your way of helping yourself. So you have the help of others. You have the help of experiences, your experiences, and tuning in with your past, okay, with the experiences of others. And then you have the assistance that you're giving yourself by allowing yourself to create. All right. Now the next card, that was card number 1. What will help you? Card number 2, I put over here. And what if this is something that might hinder you? And this is a funny card to be a hindering card, doesn't it? Seem like it. It's the Empress. Why would that be a hindering card for me? Well, first of all, and this is cute too, because look here, we have the mother helping. And here, this is a hindering card. Well, she's very much a mother. Look how her kittens are cuddled up next to her. She's very much a mother. Okay. How can that hinder you? How can that be hindering? Okay, well, I want to say, um, the Empress card is a traditional card, very, very connected to the feminine, the divine feminine. That's the idea of the Empress card. Okay, it is that nurturing, motherly, goddessy, that side of the goddess that we celebrate. Um, it is a creative expression. Your creative expression is a very sensitive, sensual expression. That's true. Let me say that again. I'm sorry, I was a little distracted. My dog is annoying me. A creative expression is a sensual expression, which that is very much created with that the uh, the goddess energy, that feminine, divine feminine energy. We see the nurturing, we see the caring, we see uh, you see other mothering as a gift, nurturing others as a gift. Okay, that's what the empress. That's the empress. Remember some of the cards you look around and you see the empress and with everything around her, right? See, let me see if I can come up with a. Let me look. Just let me check a minute. I want to see. Let me get my hoi polloi card out here and see. I'm going to cut here for a second. I wanted to show you the traditional empress card. Here we go. This is from my hoi polloi deck. Um, she's usually depicted as a pregnant mother, as a woman, a mother, a pregnant woman. It's about fertility. But it's that nurturing kind and caring energy. Okay, that is expressed here, um, and we see that here through the cats. Okay, so the reason I bring this up, my fan is blowing and everything. The reason I bring it up is, well, that's a very positive sign normally. Let's take it in terms of tarot. Let's take it in terms of being a tarot reader. If I'm reading cards for somebody and I'm seeing something that maybe it's information that I'm getting that maybe they will be difficult for them to hear, or that might hurt them a little bit. When I say it might, if they're sensitive, it might hurt their feelings a little bit, or make them cause them disappointment, or cause them fear or doubt or whatever. If we're too nurturing, if we're too much of a mother and too nurturing, that could hinder us. That could hinder us. Okay. Um, Also, the idea of being able to nurture and care for others and guide others and offer people support or advice, which is very important to be a tarot reader. Well, yes, it is if you're going to read for free. If you're going to read if you're trying to earn a living as tarot, or nobody, I don't think, can really earn a living from tarot. But if you're trying to charge money for tarot, if you think it's something that you want to charge for, um, you if you see it as a gift, you won't. It's that's sort of contraindicated if you're giving something as a gift, or if you're using it as something that you should be paid for. Also, the idea of being cuddled up and cozied up with a mother. The expression comes to mind, perfectly at home in a safe, secure world, cuddled up next to their mother, right? Well, that's a true thing, but the energy of the motherhood, the energy of the that the Empress card, um, can also be or this mother protection can also be stifling. It can be also overwhelming. It can also be controlling. It can also be draining. You know, it's not always a good thing if it's too much, excessive, or misdirected. Okay, so this is only this is a caution that's given here. Okay, um, and I want to know the difference here between what is going to help you and what is going to hurt you or hinder you is both kittens and the relationship with their mother. Here they are venturing out, exploring a little bit away from the mother. The mother's close by if they need them. And here they are, tucked up beside the mother, still really attached to the mother. Um, right? All right. You see the difference? See the difference? Okay. And then finally, the third card here with the third card is the moon card. Oh, and look at this. This makes me miss Betty White, my own little white cat that we lost not too long ago. But here we have the moon card, and we have this is the what is your unrealized potential? This is what may help you. This is what may hinder you, and this is what is your potential actually? What is that potential? Okay. And the moon is all about the intuition, isn't it? That's what the moon card is about. Um, and that's what tarot is about. It's about intuition. It's about using your intuition, and you need to trust yours. Okay, trust yours to connect to this divine feminine energy that we were talking about here with the Empress. Um, of course, I understand that I'm misspeaking for some of you because um, a lot of you, we think of the high priestess as the goddess energy, that divine feminine energy, which is true. But in this case, I want to say I'm connecting here with my own experiences with following the God and the goddess in the wheel of the year. That's sort of what my practice is all about. And this feminine energy is nurturing energy showing up in all forms throughout the tarot story. It is, you know, anytime we see feminine energy, it is connecting to that ultimate divine feminine energy. So I realize that for some of you that's confusing, but I don't mean it to be. Okay, so we can, but if we just talk about the mother energy, the nurturing energy, um, we need that. We need to have the connection. We need to have that connection. But you need to trust it. You need to trust it. And here, it is all about it. And here, rather than trusting and slowing down and calming down here, the kitty shows anxiety, doesn't she? She shows anxiety. She shows um, anxiety or fear. She's not sure what she's afraid of or what she's anxious about. But she could be. It could be fears coming from this. These experiences that she does not have. She's now out on her own, away from things. But what is going to help this kitty? What is going to help this kitty? The success of this kitty is to separate what is true from what is not true, what is real from what is not real. Okay, and it for me, and my advice to you is it all leads back to trusting your intuition. A good tarot reader, the difference between a good tarot reader and a mediocre tarot reader, in my opinion, is when a reader gets a strong idea from a strong picture from seeing the cards based on a strong sense of intuition, a strong message received with their intuition. It means 100 times more than what it says in the book. And now I know that sort of is contrary to what a lot of people think I say, because I'm always saying I think it's gobbledygook when people say pretend to be psychic or pretend to know something about tarot just based on feelings and based on whatever without having any knowledge of the system that they're dealing with. I think that's bullshit. I think it's balderdash. I'm sorry. I just do. And I know there's a lot of people who are very highly respected with that. If you don't have a strong foundation to deal with, if you don't have the experiences of the past, you see, these kittens don't have the experiences of the past, but they have the experiences of their mother, who's standing by to help if they need it. Okay? We have the experiences. This kitty has the experience, has the connection. Slow down, connect to her intuition, trust in her intuition, and she will be able to she'll be a good reader. She'll be a good reader. Okay. Now, the curious thing about you, I want to wrap this up. I'm talking a little bit long for you, Liz, but I was so intrigued by this reading. The curious thing about this is we have the moon card showing up here. And remember I said that your moon is in Gemini. Okay. Your moon is in Gemini. And that was a really good thing because you do like the positive signs where you like to share your thoughts with others. You're good at speaking. Okay. You can do that easily. You can express yourself. But what could be possibly negative is easily influenced. Could be easily influenced and react to a lot of things around you, and that's being very empathic. That's the difference between being empathic and being intuitive. And you know me, I'm intuitive, yes, but I've developed my intuitiveness. Well, I think that's right. But I'm also empathic. And you know, if you're watching my channel, I'm a triple Cancer, so my moon is in Cancer too. And I know that I am extremely, as an empath, extremely sensitive to everything around me. And what do I do when I'm putting my arms? I'm putting my arms in this reading to show you what do I do? Why do I wear these bracelets? I've talked about this so many times here on my channel. These work for me. They don't work for everybody. Sometimes people don't like stones. And it took me a long time to realize that this is what I needed to wear. But my stones help me to direct the energies around me so I can tell if they are my energies, if they're the energies from somebody else. When I read cards for somebody, my cards help. The knowledge I have of tarot keep me focused on what is somebody else. This is your reading, Liz. This is not mine. Because I have asked these cards to tell me that. I am deliberately asking the cards certain questions. I am really keeping to that, very strongly keeping to that. And I am, my knowledge of the cards, my knowledge and experience with the cards, connected and in connection with, combined with my intuitiveness, my permission that I have given myself to trust my intuition. Okay. That's what makes me a successful reader. And that's what this card is telling you. I'm not telling you to go and buy my bracelets. I'm not saying that at all. It might not be bracelets for you. It could be something completely different. But you need some kind of a tool. You need some kind of a tool that you can clear up the confusion that might surround you. If you are sincerely bringing in all these energies and like this kitty being up this tree, instead of listening to your intuition, distracted, not knowing why you're anxious, not knowing what you're afraid of, not knowing, letting things come at you from different ways and keeping you off your feet a little bit, that's not going to help you. In order for this to reach your full potential, you have to channel that. You really have to do that. Okay. Also, your ascendant is in Gemini, and that's how other people see you. Okay. People can see you as how they see you as a Gemini ascendant. Sometimes you're seen as somebody who can do everything, but maybe you can do a lot of things, but you don't do anything really, really well. Maybe you have so if you want to do tarot, make sure that you do it well. You can do it well, and your people are aware that you do well. Okay. But also be very cautious against allowing others to tell you what to do. Okay. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. That's all I want to say about that. Trust yourself. Okay. Your success ultimately depends. I want to say this one more time because this is my message to you on being able to separate truth from illusion, and that is what the moon card is about. But it's easy to say, well, you need to separate truth from illusion. I'm saying that there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. And it's reflective in your birth chart, and it's also reflected in this reading for you today. So I really wish you good luck with your tarot. I'd love you to keep in touch with me and let me know how you're doing with it. And also, if you're using any kind of a tool to channel some of these energies that you're receiving, I'm sure you're receiving them as having a moon, having your moon in Gemini. Uh, Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to change my camera. I'm going to stop my camera now, and I'm going to go on to reading number 2. Thank you, Liz, for participating. I really appreciate it. Okay, now on to the second reading for today. The second reading is for someone named Jennifer, who, interestingly, same age as one of my daughters. Um, she's looking for insights into the energies that might be surrounding her at home, because she's had some changes in her home life and some close relationships. So in the last 6 months or so, she doesn't go on to uh, what that entails. It's not her business, but I'm not sure if it was a positive or negative change that happened to her. So we're going to see what the cards have to say. Sometimes that helps. I know if we were in person, we might be able to do some of that, but let's just see what the cards say. The cards might answer the questions if we have them. Okay. I found out that Jennifer has her sun in Libra, which is a very sociable sign. Um, they like people. Libras like to be around people. They don't like to be alone a lot of times. And sometimes they go out of their way to make other people like them. So this could be relating to or not to her question. We'll see. Her Scorpio, her moon is in Scorpio, very intense feelings. We've talked about that again. But she can either be very angry, very sad, very happy. It's extreme emotions. Typical water sign with the moon, just like Cancer. Typical water sign. Um, you can become jealous or suspicious easily. And you like a lot of assurance. You like a lot of things. So you like things to go the way you like them to go. And I get that. I get that. Your sun is in Scorpio as well. So others might see you as a bit as reserved or secretive, or but you fight for what you believe in. You stand up for what you believe in, and you're willing to take risks if you think there's a reason to take the risk. But you can also become absorbed in what your interests are. Sometimes that can be a little bit isolating. We'll see. Okay, not that these are accurate descriptions of it all, but again, when I can't see you or don't have you in front of me, this is one way I sort of get an idea of what energies you might be about. We'll see. We'll see. But it's most important, really, what the cards say. That just is a little bit of a tool for me. So let's go, and I'm going to change the camera and see what the cards say. Okay, for this reading for Jennifer, I am using my Druid Craft deck. Some of you may remember this deck. This is the one I'll just show you that I did edge this one a while ago. Trimmed it and edged it, and it's beautiful, beautiful artwork in it. I love it a lot. It's one of my very favorite decks, and it's one of my favorite decks to use for when I do readings outside, like at a psychic fair or something. People seem to, when I offer a choice of decks, they seem to like to choose this deck. The lady might not be very good in here to see the artwork, but it's really beautiful. It's very beautiful. And of course, this is more of this. Uh, it's illustrated by, of course, by Will Worthington, who have quite a few of his decks. Not quite a few. I have many decks that he's done. It's very, very beautiful illustrations. Okay, so for this 3-card reading, I'm asking the cards, 3 cards in a row, 1, 2, 3. Since we don't know where she's coming from with the past, her situation at home, whether it's a breakup or if we assume this with relationships, but it could just be, it could be not necessarily her relationship, it could be somebody else's relationships, or it also could be something to do with employment or business, but I don't think so, because she did say energy surrounding me at home. So that implies relationships. So I apologize if I got off on a tangent here, but I think that's what your implication is. So we don't know exactly if this was something that was initiated by her, by someone else, or just, simply like, children leaving home because they grew up, or I don't know. You seem a little young for that, so we'll see. Okay. So anyway, for the 3 cards, I have designated The first card is, what should you let go of? What is it time to let go of? The center card, I am saying, what is it time? What do you need to accept? What do you need to accept from this change? And then thirdly, what should you embrace? What are you going to hold on to go from here? Okay, so let's look at each of these cards. Number one, what should you let go of? And here we have the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is all about some kind of a loss, isn't it? That's exactly what the card is about, which I thought interesting that that came up. But the card is about whatever it is that you have experienced. I'll hold it up in case you can see a little better. There we go. Whatever it is that you've experienced, um, you don't feel safe, and you notice she's covering her eyes, and it's like she's she's kind of afraid to face what's going forward. And whether you're afraid or not, it could be just that you're a little bit leery to go forward. You're a little bit, a lot of times if we've had a breakup or whatever, we get a little suspicious of relationships, and sometimes we don't maybe want to risk it. But also, the idea that you're in your sun sign is that you're very sociable and you like to be around people. You don't like to be alone. This is difficult. If it is a relationship that somebody left you, you would be feeling this way. Okay, especially when you're somebody who may have gone, and maybe you have even felt, as your sun sign indicated, that you may be going out of your way to try to make things work. You like it, but you don't like to make the choices. So it says, by the very fact that you don't like to make difficult choices, it implies that either this was not by your choice, or it implies that you made the choice, but it was a really hard choice for you to make. Okay. So at any rate, I would say the Five of Pentacles here is definitely about your ego could be bruised, your self-esteem could be affected in some way. Maybe feeling like not just you're alone, but maybe people don't care about you like the way maybe they should. But the message behind this card, this is we always have, remember, what are we going to let go of? We're going to let go of. That's what we're asking the card to tell us. We're asking our card to let go of this, okay? We don't want to focus on what you lack. This is a temporary situation. Things do not ever stay the same. You may be alone now, but you're not going to be alone in the future. Or this relationship that you didn't have, that you maybe invested a lot in, that's over. That's done. But that doesn't mean that you're never going to have another relationship. This is a temporary situation. Okay. If you need help, ask for help. Take your arms down and look around and see what's available. Who's around there to help you? Okay. Um, you cannot you cannot dwell on the past. This is what you need to let go of. Loss is necessary in order for you to gain. If this relationship did not work out, it was not meant to work out, and you were gaining nothing. It was a successful relationship does not end. A successful relationship does not end. Even if it's children moving out of your house, think about it. I raised children. Oh my goodness, I raised children. Then all of a sudden they moved out. Well, was that a bad thing? It was hard. It was a little hard. It made things a little different. But they moved out because it was time for them to move out. That was my success as a parent, raising children who were old enough to leave home, right? That makes me a successful parent. It's children who can't ever seem to get it together enough to leave home. That's when the parenting has failed them a little bit, in my opinion. So you have to let go of this feeling to move on. You have to lose before you can gain. If it was a bad experience or a bad relationship that did not work, it needed to go. It needed to go. And you have to make room for something new. Get rid of the old to make room for something new. So that's what we let go of. Okay. Now the center card I have here is, what do you need to accept? Interesting, we have the Six of Cups in this reading, and we just had in the last reading that we did for Liz. But in the last reading, the Six of Cups was about what will be helping you, something that she had going for her that was helping her towards her journey. Well, here we have, what is it that you need to accept? This is moving on away from something. This is we gotta accept. In order to get forward, we need to accept something. Okay, and here we have a card that is all about the past. This card, the Six of Cups, often in the traditional Rider Waite deck, we often read that card as a card looking back and with nostalgia almost. Okay. Um, well, you're not nostalgic about this, so this is not, we're moving on. It's time to move on. What do you need to accept? You need to accept the loss. You need to accept that this is over. It is past. And remember when I say, before I say, when a card from the past shows up in your, or something about the past, why do we care about the past in a reading? We care about the past in a reading because it is there to teach us a lesson we didn't learn, or we needed to be reminded of, or it is, what are you carrying around this baggage, and you can't go forward unless you put this away. Get rid of it in order to move forward. Okay. So you need to accept and start fresh from a positive place. And here we have the woman, she's watching here, or man, I don't know, I think she's a woman, watching children playing. And this is, it's the childlike, it's remembering that experience of a child, always willing to try something new and trying to move on, and giving your permission, give yourself that permission that you need to move on, to try something new, to be creative, to connect not only with somebody new maybe, but connect with your inner self, connect with this who you were as a younger person, who you were before this happened, who you are inside. Regardless of this, you are still your inner self. Okay. But also, it also could say that children, it could be, I don't know, but children could be in the future, either in, there could be a pregnancy involved. I don't know that. That would be too much information. But it could just be your inner child. It's or children, or just maybe learning the lesson from the children, something about that. Okay. How does the past, this past, if you want to look at the nostalgia, how does the past affect your present? Not just this past, but the past before this. How does that affect your present? How does that affect you now? How does it affect you, your need, your need? We just had, just like we had the kittens in the last one. There's somebody around, but the kittens are venturing and moving forward. These children are out here playing. The mother is watching from a distance, but she's not there and interfering with her playing, right? Okay. So, just giving yourself permission to stand by and reflect, and using that time as a healing, using that time as a healing to do that. Okay. It also talks about, in this card, this deck is very earth centric, very in tune with the cycles of the earth and the energies of the earth. So it talks about maybe connecting with the earth, having a stronger connection. So this is not just connecting to children or to your past, but to the past, about as past as we can get, about the ancient memory of the earth. Connecting with that, connecting through gardening, connecting through seasons, connecting through walking in the wheel, those kind of things. Um, and also having a deeper connection with what your sense of home might be. What is your sense of home? When you defined home here, the energies here that are now different, what is your definition of home? Your ideal sense of home. Like, if you have different energies now than you did a while ago, like in the past 6 months, your energies in your home has changed. Your sense of home has changed. You might be alone. You might be with fewer people. It doesn't say necessarily a loss. Does it say a loss? I want to look again. It doesn't say a loss. It said it could be, maybe there's some new people in your home. Maybe there are children in your home now that were not there before. So defining your sense of home this way and this way, two different ways. What it was, what it is now, are two different ways. Okay? Don't confuse the two. Don't confuse the two. And then what should you embrace? And this is all about the Two of Cups here. The Two of Cups. And it's not necessarily love. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a new lover. You might, but that'd be nice. Romance is very possible in this Two of Cups. It could be a partnership, but because it's home, it could be just a relationship. It could be a very strong friendship or roommate or whatever. It's very, very, strong. But it is about a partnership that is beneficial to, mutually beneficial to both of you. Whatever happened here must not have been mutually beneficial, because if it was, it might not have changed. That's where I'm coming from. Um, the reason for changing is because somebody needed to be in a different place than they were. Whether they're coming into your house from a different place or they're leaving your house and going to a different place, it's a change. But it has to be, because you despair, it wasn't mutually benefit. This is mutually beneficial for both of you. Um, if it's a new relationship coming up, it is a relationship that is um, both both a physical relationship, and a relationship in the souls, between the souls. Um, Somewhere where you share similar visions, Notice their cups are equal. Their cups are equal. Okay. They work well together. Both of those bring strength to use each other, the power of two, really the power of two, to make it stronger. And also, this is great healing. This is using this power, whatever you're getting from this new relationship, um, it's going to heal you. It's going to heal whatever happened here. This is going to be something we're no longer going to consider. This is going to disappear. This is going to disappear from your reading. Okay. And I want to say, anytime, whether this is or is not a new relationship, if it's permanent or whatever, anytime you have anguish and the feelings of alone and feelings of being alone, or the feelings of not being connected with other people, or just the feeling of dread that you might be alone, worry that you might be alone, any connections, authentic connections that you make, any ones that you make, as long as they're made mutually beneficial to the other people, are going to be healing. They're going to result in blessings that are going to fill you up. It's just a wonderful healing thing. So whether around the corner is your very ultimately best relationship, or it is just on the road who you meet to lead you to this place, it's not that important. It's still a healing process to make this go away. Okay. I hope that helps. I like general questions. I really like to receive general questions, but it's a little difficult when you're not sitting here in front of me. If you're not more specific in what you're talking about, it's a little hard to answer. It's a little hard to, because the cards, the cards can be read in so many different ways. And I have no clues. I can't take any clues off of you. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. And again, I want to thank you very much, Jennifer, for participating. And if you want to have another reading, another 3 for free reading, just send me your information again, and I will put your name in the bowl again. Okay. 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 For my third reading is for a Heather. I have a Heather. I've done a Heather. I think in my first reading in April. I think that was Heather F, and I believe this is Heather K. I'm not sure. I think you'll recognize yourself if you recognize your question, Heather. Heather asks, I'd love to know where I should focus my energy and maybe get some advice on next steps to explore on my path. I don't know what it was about that question, Heather, but I thought this would be something, a good opportunity for me to um, do a little different kind of a reading. And this is sort of what I said. I was a little bit of a surprise because I thought I was going to, I don't normally use oracle cards, but I thought for this 3-card reading, I was going to use a combination reading of first of all, using my Druid Plant Oracle, this is another one of these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful decks illustrated by Will Worthington, just like the Druid Craft in the last reading. I love it. This is all about plants and along the garden path, and this is my one of my favorite subjects. Um, I thought we would use the Druid plant oracle for that, and I was going to use, in combination with that deck, I was going to use the Smith Waite Centennial Edition. I don't hardly use it. I don't use it very often. I bought this to use for my tarot classes. I use it sometimes in there, but I don't read with it too often because I had it ordered. You know what I mean by ordered? I put the cards in order, and because when we were working just with core cards or whatever, um, and it's hard. It takes so long to get them back random shuffle, so I don't use it a lot. But I use it this time, and I shuffled and shuffled, and I want to say that I was very happy that I got them very random. I got random. Um, my deck is very well shuffled, and that's going to be important when I show you what I got. But it's very well shuffled, Heather. So I'm going to turn the camera around in a minute and show you the reading. But first, I want to just talk a little bit about you, Heather. What I discovered, which one of the reasons that led me to this deck is I did your birth chart, and I was reading about um, your big three, as I like to call them. And for everybody who's new, if you're watching for the first time, I have a link to a video down below I will show you, which explains why I ask these questions of people when I do readings for them about what the big three, what I mean by why do I care about the sun, the moon, and your ascendant in your birth chart. But anyway, Heather, what I found out about yours was you are both a sun and moon in Virgo, both of them, which is a very neat, fastidious person. You like order. You have very high standards for yourself, very high standards for other people as well. You're good and practical kind of a person. You're a perfectionist. You sometimes, with the sun in Virgo, sometimes people with the sun in Virgo pay so much attention to details that they lose sight of the larger issues. Okay. A moon in Virgo also doesn't like mess, likes to be, is a little very self-critical, hard on yourself. Um, you're sometimes very helpful to other people, but you're very hard on yourself. Um, um, what I want to say about that is, if you're working in the garden, there's nothing messier than a garden. Gardens are dirty. Gardens have weeds. Gardens have bugs. Gardens have, you know, dying leaves. Gardens have a lot of things. Bird poop. There's a lot of stuff going on in a garden. But gardens are wonderful places. Garden, just being in a garden, whether it is a well-tended garden or not, just seems to lift your spirits a little bit. And yes, it's very detailed. When I sit in my garden, I'm suckering my tomatoes or whatever, and I'm sitting up and looking in there, examining the leaves for aphids or whatever I'm doing. Yes, I'm very close and paying attention to detail. But overall, it is the overall effect of a garden, overall effect of these outdoor spaces that is where the beauty lies. And I thought it would be wonderful if we're going to say, where's your focus going to be next? Let's look at a bigger picture. Let's not be so fastidious. Let's not, what would happen if we were not so fastidious about life? And I want to say I was very surprised with what I got when I dealt your cards. So I'm going to turn the camera and I'm going to show you what I got. All right, I hope there's a little bit of a glare here. I'm not sure why on this card. But this is another example of the beautiful illustrations in these cards. Um, this is all about, and I think I've shared this deck with you before. I think I have. If I think of it, I will try to give you the link to this deck. But there's different plants. Every card is represented by different plants and the different energies that are on the plant and the lessons, the uses of the plants, but also lessons that we can learn from the plant and, whatever. And for you, Heather, today, I chose this card from this deck to represent um, the dream. The dream for you. Okay. What is a dream? Where should your focus, your energy should be? That is the dream. What is the ultimate? Excuse me. And we have the lady's mantle. Lady's mantle. Lady's mantle is asking you to connect to more deeply with the divine feminine in your emotional and your psychological life, in that creative part of your life as well. That where we saw the divine feminine before. Remember, I was talking a little bit, especially as considered in a garden. In the last reading that I did, I was talking about how I'm reading the Empress card. It was just a card of fertility and nurturing and those kind of things, energies. But I'm also reading the divine feminine, that card, as I read all feminine card energies in the feminine energy cards in within the tarot. A lot of times, because of my connection to the wheel, connection to the earth, and I see this in this card, um, especially when we're talking about somebody who spends a lot of time, apparently, perhaps, apparently, with practical things, being a perfectionist, being, and a perfectionist, can't be a gardener. You can't. I know someone who's very, very fastidious in the garden and who is constantly killing bugs and, spraying and killing bugs and pulling every weed. And, you know, bugs are beneficial to the garden. Most of them are beneficial. We don't want to be pulling them out, destroying them and killing them. That's just the last thing you want to do in a garden. So you can't, there's no room for being a perfectionist per se in a garden. Um, Connecting with that energy, connecting with the energy that we get with the divine feminine, that deeply, that whole idea of birthing and death, birth in the garden, which is a really important part of Wicca, my Wicca practice, but also, just a pagan practice, connecting with that earth energy of, nothing is born unless other things die. That birth and death have equal places in the garden. We don't pull out everything dead because the dead things contain the seeds for the new life. The dead things contain the feed for the food for the birds. The dead seeds contain, they contain food for the ground, for compost, for the earth, to put the nutrients back in. We don't get rid of it all. We can't be. So there's so many lessons in the garden that will help with this dream of treasuring those small things in life, but treasuring them in a way, not trying to control them, but just seeing them for the beauty that they are. Okay. It's a good time to open to the less predictable, sometimes wilder way of relating and looking at things that could bring miracles in your life. Sometimes being analytical or too objective doesn't give you service. Picking at details takes away the beauty very often that is caused by some of the chaos that is found in nature. So I really like this card for you. I think it speaks very good, very well for your if you're going to take a new focus your energy in a new path. Next, what comes next, we're not going to, you're asking what is coming next on your path. You're not asking how can I repeat the same old. You're going a new way, and this is maybe a new way for you to go. And it is very evident when I look here at the remaining two cards that I pulled from the the Smith Waite, the Centennial deck here. Um, both wands, and that's why I wanted to show you, and I'll show you again. These cards are very well, very, very well shuffled. They're also mostly upside down, but see, they're very well shuffled. So this was not. This is a very good. This was not a faulty shuffle, as we would call it. This is called. It's very valid that we get these two wands, and it's also very valid that we see the beginning ace and the queen nearing the end. Right? We see the spectrum here, and we're talking about in these two cards. We're talking about um, fear versus life. Fear versus life. This is what we dream of. This is what we fear. But this is what is life. This is our goal. This is where we go forward. Now, how could an Ace of Wands be fearful? Ace of Wands for most people is very exciting because the Ace of Wands is a new project and they get excited and they get an idea for a new project. And that's usually a very positive thing. And that's why I particularly like this for you because it's about following your heart, living your passion, like doing what your heart tells you want to do. And we're looking here at your birth chart again. And again, I'm looking back at this perfectionism. I'm looking back at um, paying so much attention to detail that you might lose sense, you might lose some of this creativity, some of this passion. You lose it. You lose it. I'm a little bit of a type A personality, I think they call it, where I'm sort of a perfectionist in a lot of ways. I'm a creative person, I'm a perfectionist, and I'm a writer. I'm writing. I'm working on a book project, and I also was a teacher for a number of years, and I taught children writing composition in classes, and we taught them it's important to get their thoughts down on paper. We get the thoughts out, we get the words out we want to use, we say what we want to say, and then we do it. We made first a sloppy copy, we called it, in the classroom. We don't do worry about spelling, punctuation, anything like that, capital letters. Then after we get the thoughts on, we go back and we edit it, and we change the punctuation, and we change the wording, and we make incomplete sentences into complete sentences. We do those kind of things. And I was very successful in teaching that in my classrooms. But in my life, I have trouble with that. I really have trouble with that. Where I want to go back and I'm trying to get my thoughts down on paper, and I write a paragraph, and I'm going back and I'm correcting the spelling and I'm putting in punctuation marks, and it takes away. By the time I get to the end of my paragraph, I've completely lost what it was I was trying to say. That's what happens to people that are very, very detailed oriented, have very high standards, or who are perfectionists. Being fastidious, not wanting to cause any problems. You want to do it perfect the first time. You want to do it perfectly. I want to tune it perfectly. I want my book to come out the way it's in my head and evoke the kind of experiences and memories and thoughts, or whatever ideas that are in my head. But I'm having difficulty doing so because I am so worried about these little details. I'm nitpicking. Okay. Um, you want to be very, very careful about that, because you Ace of Wands is also about the beginning. Remember, the Ace of Wands is a very, very beginning card. It's not the end. This is not your whole project in this card, right? This is not your whole project. This is not your whole idea. This is not your whole what you want to do. This is just the beginning. You start small. Don't be afraid to start small. If it doesn't work out, you can make a change. If it doesn't work out, you've only just begun, you can abandon it and try something new. Okay? Let your motivation be your guide. Okay? It's okay to have a plan. It's okay to have a sight of where you want to go, but you need to listen to your instincts and just go with the flow. I have a book that I talked about in the past. That I read a long ago. One of my daughters gave it to me as a gift. It's the Artist's Way, I think it's called, and it had an exercise in there which was really good, because so many artistic people had this problem. They're afraid to start because it's not going to be like they want it to be. And just like me, they want it to be perfect. Okay. So they had an exercise where every morning when you get up, you had to just pick up your tablet and your paper, and you needed to write without stopping, without thinking what you're going to say. Just write words on a page, 3 pages, 3 pages before you could stop. And it was an exercise to do every morning, and I'll tell you, it was eye-opening to just force yourself to put pencil on paper. I think I need to go back and try that. That's a good idea. But that's the idea, to conquer your fear. Just allow yourself to go. If it doesn't work out, try something new. If it goes wrong, change it. It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. If it is right, it will develop, and it will lead to where you're going. It will lead to something else. Okay. Things will grow richer when we start to focus in on these passions that we have. Okay. So don't be afraid about it. The important thing is that you act now rather than spending your time, more time planning, more time trying to be perfect, more time. The details are going to stand in your way, and you will never move forward. You will be stuck. And instead of you saying to me in a future question, what should I focus my energy on next on my path, you're going to be writing to me and say, I feel so stuck. Why am I stuck? Why do I feel stuck? This is one of the reasons you might feel stuck. This fear of trying, this fear of going ahead. Okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. Your moon in Virgo, you need to get that under control. Practice taking control of that and just doing it. Practice failure. You know, you have to be being good at failure ensures that you're going to be good at success. I think somebody said that a long time ago, and I think that's really good advice. Okay, the last card here is the Queen of Wands, and this is this is the life card. This is the life card. I mean the Queen, yeah, I said the Queen of Wands. It's the life card. And it's a success card, right? The Queen of Wands. There's power. There's power that comes with following your passion. There's power that comes from doing what you're good at. There's power that comes with using your intuition and your creativity, allowing your creativity to grow. Okay. Um, and you have a very interestingly with your ascendant, excuse me, your power, your sounds like the clown card's back. Your success in this card is very dependent on ability to make a first impression. Okay. It's an ability, you know, you're drawing people towards you. You draw people towards you as a part of your creativity. And able to win people over with your nature, used to win people over. And that's pretty interesting because in your ascendant card, your ascendant being in Libra is exactly what that talks about. Your ability to get your way and prevent others from being mad at you. You can charm your way out of things. So by the same way you can charm your way out of things, you can also use this Libra ascendant of yours to 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 go where you want to go, to follow the path that you want to go, follow the path of your desires. Okay, and attract those people around you that might help you along this path. What that might want to join you on this path. You instill confidence in other people. That's something that you're very good at. So you can influence them to help you achieve what you sent your mind to achieve. So you have the tools to do these things. Um, Heather, it's just a matter of, you know, getting over this fear to begin, getting over this fear. Let go of the details. Let go of the details. Okay. So if I was going to say to you a path you wanted to take, I would definitely be advising you to number one, get outside. Number two, get a little messy. Allow yourself to be a little messy. Allow yourself to fail and see how it's not the end of the world when you fail. It's not the end of the world. It'll be a good failure. I mean, some of us are really good at failing, but that's how we learn. We cannot learn. You know, they say, you know, the people that I don't like it, but a lot of people say they let a baby burn their finger the first time they touch a stove. One time they won't touch it again. Well, I don't like that idea, but I don't like the practice of that, but I do understand the idea. A baby can't learn to walk if they don't know how to get up from falling. And so the same thing, it's a lesson that we're carrying with us through life. Okay, that was fun. I hope it was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit from the reading. I talked a lot. I talked a lot. I really enjoy these readings. I love 3 card readings. They're very challenging. Um, I just want to say one thing. If you want to participate, I appreciate anybody who wants to participate in this exercises with me. I'm trying to commit to doing them for a year's time to celebrate my Weibo tag for a year. But I need people to participate to make sure that we do that. So again, if you want a 3 card reading, I'm very happy to do that for you here. Um, Sometimes it will be helpful if you're a little more specific with your question. I don't want it to be yes or no, but just if I know the area or a little background, I don't have to necessarily, you know, I can be remain confident and I mean, you know, confidential about your private details, but it will help me to go if I know, is this about a breakup or is this about a job that you want or a job, or you know, I really need to know a little bit more specific to be a little better because I can only go on what I go on. Okay. Anyway, I'll be back in a month for 3 for 3. So if you want to know the details, The information is below in the description box. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.